for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground. So we can fly again. 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 Oh, we can fly again.
Atomic particles traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
said and done, figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind, and all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You.
Hello and welcome to Simplay Motorsport on a very sunny afternoon here at Pool Ricard. I'm your host, Liam Bostock, here to bring you the GT5s of Simplay Motorsport. And I'm going to just chuck you straight into some milestones that we have got for you here, as today the first race will actually mark the 50th race for the 50th race start for the Bentley in the first race. So Gary needs one more pole for his 25th. So that is quite interesting. Also, Disco McDiscoface has got a Q1 ban tonight, so he should be able to actually do his quali for the first qualification. And I'm going to run you through the tables very quickly though, when I just quickly get them up here. So here we go. So leading your drivers' championship here at the minute is the Overtaker, with only 4 points behind him in second, De Silva. Not 15 points, 11 points the gap for third though of Matahimovic, with being in P3 there. In P4 we have got an Orthodubs 16. In P5 we've got Gary 131, and in P6 we've got Fiore CVK. P7 you've got Big Boy Brazier with only 2 points behind him, being M Palavra in 8th position. 2 more points so behind that is Bryce 2000 in 9th, and then another further 1 point behind that is Arts, but he won't be able to gain any more points after leaving the championship. In 11th we have got Monkey Boy, and then we've got Smoky Devil in 12th, only 1 point behind Monkey Boy here. P13 we have got Peaceful Explosion and Euro in P14. Exit Tibbs, another one to have left the championship, in P15. Only 1 point the gap between him and Euro, but won't obviously be able to gain on that. D-Biggs in 16th here though, level on point, should I say 1 point behind Euro, level on points with Exit Tibbs, with Ugbar there in 17th. Sooty Apex though in 18th, only 8 point the gap between him and Ugbar. And then finally we have Disco McDiscoface in 19th here, but I believe actually that is wrong, because he should actually be in 18th, as I don't think the tables here have been updated, but that can be sorted. I'll just very quickly sort that out here. No, maybe that is correct. But we are going to jump over to your constructors now, as Vattel Buffart Racing leading the championship at the minute, actually level on points with Jaeger Motorsport. So those two are level on points. The first and second are level on points. In third place, so 9 points behind those two, is FU Racing. Then in fourth you have got Michael Massey's Mango Lasset. Then in P5, only 11 points behind P4 is actually PRT Squadra Corsa. Then you've got Fionda Motoristico in P6 and Simplay Racing in P7. Going a bit further down here though, not in P8 you have Terminal Velocity Racing. Only 4 points the gap between those and Simplay Racing in 7th. Then 3 points behind that is FST Racing in 9th and Full Send It in 10th. Another only 1 point between Full Send It and SFT Races, so quite a fight there in the mid, near the bottom / middle of the constructors here. Not too far behind that is Team Independent in P11, and in P12 you got OMO Motorsport. 1 point the gap between 12th and 11th here. So that is what your constructors and your drivers is looking like at the moment, as we do now just wait for this practice session to finish to get into the quali. Just to remind obviously the driver that may need to know, Disco Face cannot qualify in this first qualification, so he will have to stay in the pits for it. If he does come out, I would imagine he will get a penalty. But here we're going to just have a quick gander at some of the other drivers and see what they are doing around here, as we are on with Bryce at the minute. Going around the first set of turns, I believe that actually is. As not too knowledgeable about this track, but I can imagine through the night progressing I shall find some information out. As your man here, Disco McDisco Face, Sooty Apex's teammate here, as only in 11th at the moment, but he, I can imagine, will be doing race runs as of the minute with that quali ban. He's really going to be wanting to focus on his race pace rather than his quali pace. It's a little bit bouncy off the curbs there. We'll have a look at other cars here. Gary 131, the number 1 teammate in the Jaeger Motorsport, as he also comes around the first set of turns. It's quite a long track today at Paul Ricard, as you would have seen yesterday in the Pro-Am, being brought to you obviously by Matt Ahimovic and Dan Davis. So that was, from what I've heard, quite an interesting night. But tonight is going to be even more interesting, because you're going to get the likes of Fiore, De Silva, and I can imagine people like Big Boy Brazier and Matt Ahimovic in all the front is just going to be battling for those positions, as it's all points towards the constructors for the drivers and for the constructors, yes, for the teams and the drivers' points here. As we do look at the other teams here, just having a gander at, see what they are capable of. As of the minute during the practice session, you have actually got an Orthodox 16, which is leading the times here. Only 3 thousandths to the gap though between an Orthodox and De Silva. 3 thousandths the gap. So De Silva looking quite pacey here, actually in the pits at the moment. There's 3 minutes left of this practice session here, as we are on board with an Orthodox at the moment. As we will actually go on board here, if I get the right button. Here we go. We will go on board for a lap. We are going to see what he can do in the hands of the Lamborghini. And as you can see, trying to keep it as far out as possible, coming through these set of turns. It does come up to where the back straight is. There's a very minor change to this track compared to the Formula 1, if you have ever watched it. Is that down this back straight in the Formula 1 there's actually a bit of a Bostock chicane, whereas on the circuit, on the layout should I say, that we are driving tonight and watching tonight, it is just one long straight. This is where you can really tell which car has the better outright top speed going down straight, and see which ones are going to do better. But obviously this is quite a mixed track at the moment. There's from a bit of research, apparently this track was actually made as a testing track, so it's not actually good for any car, nor is it bad for any car. Quite a mixed track, quite a lot of lefts and rights from coming into different corners, and some straights as well. Here you go, unorthodox, coming up to the last part of the circuit now. We will pass the entry in a second, as something that drivers will need to keep an eye out on to make sure they do not cut any of the white lines. As there you go, passing the entry there, just cross the line now. Now, there you go, as I don't believe he goes any faster on that. It's a bit of a flashy there. But that was a lap at Paul Ricard with unorthodox here. As we will just jump back into this little viewers. I do believe that is Matahimovic here. It is car number 1 of Matahimovic here, obviously winning the last ACC championship, being able to run that number 1 number, should I say. It does just pass unorthodox there. There's 20 seconds left of this practice session, as I do believe Matahimovic only just coming out as a bit of tit for tat there. Ooh, as he gets a bit wavy there. I don't know if that's purposeful or not, but he does nearly make contact with unorthodox there. As he might be even trying to warm his tyres up. But he is waving about just there. Hopefully no contact will be made. He is staying in his slipstream now. As there you go. That is your practice session over, and now it's about the qualifying. As De Silva looking like to be the first car to go onto the track to try and get an early time out here. As there you go. De Silva, the first car to come out in the McLaren. And I can imagine a whole lot of other cars will be following behind. All the cars now on their way out, as there's another McLaren hitting a cone there as well, can I just add. As we do now just wait for drivers to come out, stop and start, should I say, their out lap to then go on their fastest lap. As we will keep an eye on De Silva to see where he is on the track, as we will keep an eye out on him. As here we are with Yorio, as not seeing him out on track yet, maybe a bit of a late one into the session, but nonetheless drivers now will be trying to warm the tyres up, warm the brakes up, and just try and give it all they can for this qualifying to try and get as far up the grid as possible, as the first race being a half-an-hour race and meaning points, as that is the aim of the game in this. Points, points and points. It looks like De Silva now just coming up to the final set of turns before there you go, he comes around a big right-hander, I believe that is. As here he is coming around the final turn, as he will now be starting his flying lap, as many of the other drivers here will also be doing. As you can see, pretty much all the drivers out on track. Disco staying in the pits and Monkey Boy still in the pits. As we do keep an eye out on drivers doing times. We will see a few drivers, as it looks like the number 22 car of Smoky Devil hasn't actually done the time, but I believe he has just came out of the pits. That'll be why his dot is blue. Is the car behind him obviously being De Silva again. He is on a flying lap, so he will be pushing, and that slipstream will be helping him. As Monkey Boy now out the pits to start his laps. Already just under 7 minutes into this session, so people will be starting to do their laps. Number 16 of unorthodox, that might not actually be unorthodox. The car just behind unorthodox though has cut track limits and cannot post the lap that he is doing now. There's plenty of cars on the track at the minute, as it looks like Gary 131 may have cut track limits and invalidated his lap time. The number 4 as well of Monkey Boy, but he is on an out lap at the moment, so his lap won't count anyway. As the number, I do believe 55 there. Yes, the number 55 of De Silva crosses the line with a 1:55.4. So that is your benchmark lap there for the drivers at the moment. There's a few other cars coming across the line now. Bryce in the next car to cross the line with an Orthodox not too far behind him there. Crosses the line. An Orthodox though goes onto pole. Temporary pole, can I just add, as it looks like Matahimovic has actually gone in the pits and came back out now. So maybe having a bit of a spin or an incident of some sort. As Monkey Boy now crosses the line to start his flying lap. As there are an Orthodox, should I say, is a car that is also still in who's gone back in the pits. So he will, I can imagine he's quite happy with what lap time he's done there at the moment, but he will be wanting to come back out to be able to post some more, as De Silva during that practice session only 3 thousandths the gap. Number 13 of Fury crosses the line. He goes into third. As the next car is the number 12 of, let me find him out, the number 12 of Sooty Apex, as he crosses the line to, I believe, start his flying lap now, as he's going to be wanting to be quite careful but hitting any of the going over track limits, should I say. This is the number 22 car, the next car to cross the line here on a valid lap. Smoky Devil, what kind of time can he put in? He crosses the line, goes into 6th, just in front of Big Boy Brazier, his teammate. This is number 29, another car to cross the line, but on an invalid lap here of Empalava. Number 20 of Bryce now crosses the line. Does he improve on his time? He doesn't, as Matahimovic actually puts the time in as well. Goes into 3rd. It's not too bad. There's a couple of the other cars now coming across. Peaceful Explosion here. Next car to cross the line with an invalid lap. So quite a lot of people getting invalidated laps here during qualifying. There's from 5 drivers, I believe that is, haven't posted a lap time. Monkey Boy though crosses the line, goes into 11th. That narrows the times down. The number 29, I believe that is again. No, 79. Big Boy Brazier crosses the line and goes into 10th. So a couple of drivers here, maybe not doing this, doing the times that they was wanting to here. Number 13 of Fury crosses the line again, goes into 3rd, takes it off of Matahimovic. It's the next 2 drivers to cross the line here are on invalidated laps, as the number 55 of De Silva, the next valid car, should I say, to come across the line, coming around the last few set of turns. Is what kind of time can he do? Can he upset an Orthodox here? We will see, as it does now come onto the start straight. Comes down. What kind of time will he be able to do on Orthodox? He does him by a 10th, nearly a 10th and a half. An Orthodox though on the back straight, he will see that now and be wanting to get that time, as 1 minute 50 left of the session, so not very long left to be able to post your lap times. 2 drivers still yet to put a time in. Those 2 near the beginning, the first / second sector of the track here. Number 1 though of Matahimovic, next car to cross the line, comes across, doesn't improve, I don't believe. Is number 11 of Peaceful Explosion on an invalid lap again. Number 4 though, Monkey Boy, will he improve on his time? We will find out in a second as he crosses the line. Does, but doesn't shift him from where he is now. Gary 131 now does improve on his lap time and jumps himself up the grid there Big Boy Brazier again, another one to improve on their lap time. Number 13, the next car that is valid to come across the line here of Fury. As he crosses the line, will he go any faster? He doesn't. This is number 12 again of Sooty Apex. Crosses the line. Goes into 14th. Is overtaking the next car to cross the line here. Goes into 12th. Is one more. Any car that is on the track now should be able to get one more lap, or those that are near the beginning of their lap should only get that lap. As 10 seconds left of the session. De Silva 3/10 more of the gap to Unorthodox. Unorthodox though back straight again. There's the number 74, the next valid car to come across the track of Ugbar here. As there you can see, the session is over, as the cars will be either coming in the pits or posting their lap time if they can go any faster. Ugbar though, next car to the line, will he improve? He doesn't, I don't believe there, as we do now wait here. Monkey Boy very wide there. I don't know if that's invalidated this time, but we'll have a look. It does, so Monkey Boy will not be getting another timeout on the circuit here. Number 79 of Big Boy Brazier though, next car to cross the line. Is he on a faster lap? Maybe, as he comes powering down the straight here to the line. Does he improve? He doesn't. As number 16 of Unorthodox comes to the line. Will he be able to get the silver? No, he won't, as it looks like the silver may have this in the bag for qualifying. Sooty Apex here. Very slow around the final turn there. Powers down the straight though. Will he improve? He does. He goes 14th. He is now in 14th as the final driver to cross the line is De Silva here, as he has got pole here. So that is what your qualifying looks like, as he really runs on that curve there. Looks like he nearly spins the car around, but that is what your qualifying looks like in for your first race. As does just stop there in the pits, as we do now wait for qualifying to finish here and to get put into the race, as the drivers just waiting as patiently as we are here. As here you go, we are now on the circuit, just waiting now for that timer to count down. There's not very long left here, as you can see many of the cars just hovering there, just putting the setups on here. I will run you through what the start will look like. So in first you have De Silva with Unorthodox in second, Euro in third, and Fury in fourth, Mahimovic in fifth, Bryce in sixth, Peaceful in seventh, and Gary in eighth. In ninth you've got Smoky Devil, in 10th you've got Big Boy Brazier, in 11th you've got Empalava, and in 12th you've got the Overtaker. In 13th you've got Ugbar, and in 14th you've got Sooty Apex, and in 15th you have Monkey Boy, and then to finally top that off you have Disco McDisco Face in 16th. As that is what your race 1 start will look like.
20 seconds.
20 seconds left until the guys start moving, as this is going to be a very interesting race. This race is going to be all about trying to be able to get as many positions as you can, get as many points as possible, especially for those teams in the mid-pack in the constructors, to try and gain those extra points on the others. As there you go, the drivers should start moving in a second. As there you go, we get moving. as De Silva leads the pack. As all the drivers now will be trying to warm their tyres and brakes up here. But they do come to the line. This is a very slow start to the race. As they get to the line, we go green. As now you can overtake. We will see, is anyone brave enough to overtake into turn 1? Unorthodox was looking quite hasty to try and get that position off De Silva. Still does. As he looks up the inside there, it's a level. As there is contact between De Silva and Unorthodox there. Maybe something for the stewards to have a look at. As it looks like that was peaceful explosion in the background there, as it looks like Fiore is leading this race here at the moment. There's the two Jaeger Motorsport boys not too far behind De Silva here. We'll be pushing on these two though to try and get those positions so they can lead the constructors. But Fiore here, 5 tenths of gap in front here. As Mahimovic only a few hundredths there, about a tenth should I say, or should I say 5 tenths of gap, because I'm reading this wrong, between him and De Silva. As it looks like Overtaker is side by side with Sooty Apex there, as I may have been wrong with that. It does stay behind, I believe that is Empalavra. No, it is. There's the Overtaker trying to make as many positions up as possible, as he does get Big Boy Brazier, as he is now behind Bryce here. Only the 6 tenths of gap between these two. Bryce apparently 2 tenths of gap. I don't believe that's right. As De Silva apparently quite close, is actually leading the race here, so maybe a bit of mistake from Fiore here up front. But Mahimovic and Gary 131 now not too far behind. The pit lane is now open for people that want to jump in the pit, but it will not count towards your mandatory pit stop here. It's Fiore not far off the back of De Silva here. Be really pushing him to try and get that position back. It's looking a bit twitchy there coming through the second turn. It's a bit of a free a line here now. As it's starting to, the front is starting to gap the mid. It's still quite close in different parts of the track, but Fiore not too far off the back of De Silva, maybe be able to get him down this straight, as the Lamborghini, very well known for its straight line speed, as it looks like he's actually gaining on De Silva here. We will see, will he be able to stay in that slipstream and be able to gain another position? It does look like he is rocketing towards De Silva there. But what he doesn't need to forget is the fact that he's got different other cars behind him, so he doesn't want to try and go for any stupid moves. It looks like there's a bit of a fight in the mid pack here. Big Boy Brazier and Bryce here. When the cameraman comes back, as I believe there may be something wrong with the cameraman here. Looks like there was a little bit of contact there between Bryce and what looks to actually be Sooty Apex actually. Bryce, Big Boy Brazier and Sooty Apex. As we are just gonna have a quick look about, as now the closest battle is these two, is very close here. Sooty Apex trying to keep it in front of Big Boy Brazier. Bit of a tap there. These two side by side coming down the start straight though. What is going to happen? Who's going to play it? They're going to play a bit of chicken here. As it looks like Empalava's trying to make his way into this little battle. As Big Boy Brazier stays in front there, and actually, as it looks like, Sooty Apex all over that curb, but loses that position out to Big Boy Brazier there. So it looks like Empalava, the next car, he actually goes side by side with Sooty Apex there. He apologised for that. Yeah, it's a little bit of a 3-4 way battle here, as it does seem to have spread out a bit, but it looks like Empalava's still wanting to get that position off of Sooty Apex here, as the cameraman wanted to look into the distance. We want to look at the cars. Empalava though looks like he wants to try and go side by side, coming down here at the back straight. The pit window now open for drivers, 20 minutes on the clock. As these two side by side now, Empalava looking like he's got the better straight line speed on Sooty Apex, but actually it looks like Sooty Apex has got the better of Empalava here, as it looks like he does defend that a little bit. As it looks like Sooty Apex hit the curb and kind of slowed himself down there, but Empalava still stays behind him. As it looks like he's going to go and try and go the outside, but then decides to pull out of it. We are going to have a look a bit more up front, as Fury on the back of the silver here, as I believe Unorthodox might actually be in the pit. No, he's not. It's just the fact that he's not got a time on the board. He'll be hunting down Disco McDisco Face here. The Sooty Apex actually their first car to pit in the pit window. It's Disco McDisco Face, so the two teammates in the pits. There's the overtaker there. On the back of Smoky Devil, in a bit of a Michael Massey Lango Lassie sandwich here. As the overtaker all over the curb and hits Smoky Devil round. So that'll be something to be looked at after the race. That was a little bit naughty from the overtaker there, as the overtaker did keep going there though, as he is in front, from what it looks like, of his teammate of Empalava, as Empalava doesn't look like he's going to want to try and fight it, as Disco McDisco Face, sorry Dan, so there might have been some contact between him and Unorthodox, but either way we are going to keep an eye on the racing here, as Bryce trying to get on the back of Ugbar here in the Porsche, a Porsche to Audi battle here. As they do come up to some other sets of turns here, and quite a lot of overtaking possibilities around here, as it looks like Monkey Boy and Peaceful. No, my eyes deceive. I thought these two were closer. Either way, these two will be trying to get into this battle here. So they come around the final set of turns here, and down the start straight. Doesn't look to be that there's many people very close to each other. There's a peaceful explosion in the pits as well now. 3 people will have done their mandatory pit stop here. As they come around the turns of 2 teammates, Overtaker and Empalava, not too far off. Empalava may be trying to play second fiddle to slow Ugbar down, as it looks like Bryce and Ugbar closing in on the 2 teammates here, as that is not what they will be wanting. At the minute though, 21 minutes left of this race, 16 minutes left of the pit window. It's been quite a interesting race so far. Mahimovic falling off the back of Fury and De Silva here, but Fury in a solid second at the moment, pulling that gap, but 8/10 off the back of De Silva. As he slides there round there, keeps it pinned though. So maybe it would have been a bit more purposeful than anything. Doesn't look to have been now. As Peaceful now just been dropped from what it looks like and is out of the pits. Is very close to Unorthodox there, I believe that is. Yes, very close. There's an orthodox still, another car yet to pit. But an orthodox, peaceful explosion, not too far off the back of an orthodox. I believe he is a lapped car though. Looks like Fury went into the pits there, but I don't think anything happened. Either way, Mahimovic not too far off the back. I apologise for that. Not too far off the back of Fury now. There's De Silva also not too far in front. The Jaeger Motorsport, Gary 131 not too far off the back of this action as well. And then Euro in 5th, not too far off there either. So it's now starting to get a bit more spread out. Looks like Bryce only 4/10 the gap to him and Ugbar, so maybe see a bit of battling in a second, as he does stay in the slipstream here. Drive through, as it looks like Disco has got a drive through, so that is not what you want to see, but that is what he's gonna get. Is Bryce shooting down the straight here, looking like the slipstream's really helping him. He's looking on the outside there, maybe to cut back on the inside. We will have a see this in a second. He doesn't, he does just stay planted where he is on the track. There's 2 laps remaining for Disco to do his drive through. And as many of you know, with this game, you want to do those drive throughs or else you are in trouble. Is Bryce falling off the back of Ugbar a bit now, going into the hands of Monkey Boy here. It's Monkey Boy closing in on Bryce here. Be another position for the team, extra points, he'll be happy with that if he can get it done. We will see though, as Bryce goes into the pits as well as Monkey Boy. So these two, there's Empalava also in the pits, so 3 cars in the pits all at once here. 2 seconds of gap though now to from Fury to De Silva. So the front, the battle at the front has it's slowed down quite a lot. But what's interesting here is when these guys will come out, as they should all come out roughly at about the same time. Mahimovic though looking like he's closing that gap on Fury a little bit here, as he's now only a second off the back of Fury, and will be getting into his slipstream as well. So we are going to have a quick look at the guys in the pits, as no one is moving yet. Oh, everything's going wrong for me today. Either way, we're going back to this battle here. Is Mahimovic is actually closing that gap to Fury here, 9/10 the gap. So not too far off. Disco McDiscoface will have to do his drive-through penalty on this lap, or else he will be given a harsher penalty for what he has already got. So he'll be wanting to remember to go into the pits. There you go. 2.8 seconds is the gap between Fury and De Silva now. Excuse me. These guys getting close again. 5/10 is an orthodox off the back of Bryce here. Still yet to pit though. He is in his slipstream going down the straight. Zugbar now into pit. Not Big Boy Brazier, the car just next to him. He's already pitted. An orthodox. Oh, as he goes around there, and he does stay. He does get that move done. As Bryce off the track a little bit there, still within the track limits. So as Bryce tries and goes back through, gets the move done, no contact made. Absolute fabulous move as unorthodox. It's a bit of contact with Bryce there, as Bryce won't be happy with that. Bryce will be now fighting what looks to be peaceful, not peaceful explosion. Disco, no, Sutty. No, I'm getting these all wrong. He is fighting someone there. He does get in front. I don't know who that one is. We're gonna jump over here. Is Yuri out? Euro is on the back of Gary 131. There's a few of these other guys still left to pit. It was Monkey Boy I was thinking of. So Monkey Boy, 2 tenths of gap for him. Euro right on the back of Gary 131 here. There's 2 different cars here battling again. There's a lot of people there now in pits. De Silva in the pits, Fury in the pits, Matt Himovic in the pit, and the Overtaker in the pits, all in one go. As Gary looks like he may be trying to push this a bit longer so his teammate can pit. Is Euro not too far off the back now? He's really looking like he's going to be wanting to be eager to get that position off him. We'll see if he can get it done now. As that was Disco there, I believe, going around the just behind him. It is. Euro stays in the slipstream of Gary 131. He will, from what it looks like, he's going to wait for the perfect time to strike. There is a bit too big of a gap there. It looks like he's closing in when your cameraman is looking, as he is. As it looks like he pulls out. He's going to have the inside line here. Will he get that move done? He does, as flies past Gary there. Gary 131 now down into what should be 5th, I believe. Euro in 4th. Is Gary really looking like he wanted to go for that move then, but backed out at last minute because he saw that he could have had a bit of contact with Euro, not wanting to obviously get those penalty points. As he does stay on the back of Euro. Gary 131 all over the curb there. As everyone is unorthodox now also in the pits. 12 minutes left of this race, 7 minutes of the pit window. 3 more guys left to pit. That is your top 3 who's still left to pit here. Is any of these guys going to pit here? We will see. It doesn't seem to be that way. We'll have a look here. Smoky Devil, next person to pass the pits. We are going to have a look, see if he decides to jump in the pits, and we're going to jump over here actually, as it looks like there was a bit of a battle happening with Fury and De Silva. As it sounds like a car is off. Fury is off. There's maybe a bit of contact there for Fury, but the Overtaker not too far off the back. Fury's car looks absolutely destroyed there. He could be having large damage on his car there, so maybe something for us to look at in the steward's room after the race. We will see though at the end, as the Overtaker looking quite pressury to try and get past the Fury CBK here. As all these guys obviously have pitted. As the Overtaker here staying in the slipstream of Fury. Is the Overtaker going to go and try for a move? He is going to try and go for a move. Gets that move done. As Fury looks like he's going to try and defend it, but just can't. Looks like he may have some really bad damage on that car. As he does stay in that slipstream, but looking like he's struggling a little bit. Gary 131 though, falling off the back of Euro. These guys though, still left to pit. 4 tenths of gap though back here. Sooty and Peaceful. Fighting for position. as they might just stay where they are. They might not want to overcomplicate things here. Is Gary 131 actually in the pits now? Only fresh into the pits as Smoky Devil, the next car to come across the line, doesn't decide to go into the pits though. Euro leading the race. 5 minutes left until the end of the pit window here. 9 minutes left of the session. As these guys now, we are going to go back here and we're going to see these guys looking like they're going side by side, but kind of from the angle that was. These two though still looking quite fighty. Sooty in the background there, you see him look left, look right. As Peaceful does manage to keep it in front of Sooty Apex here. As the timings on the screen not exactly right to what it should be, but they are always changing, so you can't really blame it. Sooty there in the background, having Bryce on the back of him. Bryce obviously looking for that position, right on the back of him here. Stays in his slipstream. Is he going to look for a move? He is. He looks as if they're going side by side into the first turn. Bryce though on the better line here. Does it look like there was a bit of contact there from the other from Sooty Apex there? These two still side by side. It's very close racing here. As Bryce looks to have still kept it in front here, and will now be hunting down Peaceful Explosion here. Euro in the pits. 3 minutes left of the pit window, so Smoky Devil will need to pretty much pit on this lap, or at very latest at the end of the next lap. As Smoky Devil maybe leaving it to the last minute, as Euro still got quite a distance to go to be able to catch up to Peaceful Explosion, but he is slowly gapping Peaceful Explosion. Sooty Apex, I apologise. As quite a hefty gap there, but there's still time in this race to be able to get that done. See Sooty Apex out, losing time to Bryce there. It's the final few people left one person left to pit actually. As there you go. That is Smoky Devil left the pit. Euro just on his way out of the pits now. As Smoky Devil will need to pit on this lap, or else he will be given a penalty. Not a very nice one either. It looks like Big Boy Brazier looking to try and join this battle here between him, between Gary 131 and I believe Euro's actually jumped Gary 131 massively there. As they're overtaken. Only 6/10 according to this off the back of him. Actually gets him done and keeps him in bay there from what it looks like. As these two in pretty much similar cars, one in the McLaren, one in the Ferrari, very similar looking cars, but very different cars mechanically. As Overtaker really trying to keep Euro off the back of him. Euro though, looking to try and go side by side. We will see in a second. Stays in the slipstream of the Overtaker. Looks like he pulls out of it at last minute there. There's a few other cars in the background, just waiting. This is, by the way, just to make you all aware, this is the Bentley's 50th race now, or technically 51st race. Race start now is obviously him, Matt Ahimovic and Gary 131 racing it. I believe it's the 50th. It's either the 50th or it's the 51st. Either way, we have now got a new statistic on the board there. So another talking point. 1/10 the gap though apparently. Gary actually right on the back of Euro here, so maybe Euro having a bit of contact with the overtaker or something. He does seem to have lost a bit of time there. Fury, that car still looks really, really damaged there. Trying to gain on the back of Empalava here as his race has gone from bad to worse. He was losing, he was the leader, and then it just started to slowly get worse and worse. There you go, just under 5 minutes left of the session. Pit window is now closed as here's Matahimovic. 1.5 the gap between him and De Silva, so Matahimovic will be trying to gain on De Silva here, as it looks like he's actually gaining time on him. We will see. There you go, he is 1.3 is the gap. Gary 131, 1 second off the back of Euro, so maybe I've lost a little bit of time there to him. What we are going to keep an eye on here is this fight at the front. Is Gary 131 now 1.6 off the back. Jamie not too far, so Gary could lose another position out here. Is the overtaker in third now. 2 seconds the gap between him and Euro. Euro obviously going to be wanting to get into that position there, so he can get that done and get into the onto the podium. The overtaker not looking like he's going to want to move without a fight. Matahimovic crosses the line. Now back down to 1.5 the gap. Peaceful though. Not too far off the back of Fury yet. 3 minutes left of the session. Everyone will get at least one more lap, or some of those near the front, I believe, will get two. As they come around the final turn there, as it looks like with that damage, it's kind of hindered on Fury and just losing him his straight line speed. Peaceful Explosion now gonna take full advantage of this, try and gain another position on the track. 8 tenths a gap now though, as he's starting to really pull in Fury here. It's Peaceful trying to go at his trying to what looks like to push here, but then also look quite like he's wanting to be happy where he is at the moment. Either way, it could be an extra position to Peaceful Explosion, and as a driver, you know you need to get those positions. They are on the back straight here, and it looks like Peaceful Explosion's really starting to gain on the back of Fury here. 7 tenths of gap, as it looks like Fury slows down a bit, and Peaceful does get in front of him here. So not much fighting from Fury from what it looks like there. It's Bryce, the next car to Fury. Will Bryce be able to do Fury as well, as could mean another position. Bryce looks up the inside. Fury not looking to defend any of these. It's the leader now on the final lap. Matahimovic though, 1.8 now, the gap between him and the leader. So it looks like De Silva could win this with that. If he there's anything stopping him is himself here. Fury though now into 10th. Not where Fury would have wanted to be. Smoky Devil, another drive through from where it looks like that he has got there. The driver's now crossing the line. All these crossing the line at the moment. Will be starting the final laps as the lead cars. It looks like the number 86 of Disco. No. As there you go. Smoky Devil now coming into pits to do his drive through. As it looks like Matahimovic gains in the traction zones, but as soon as it comes to the straight, it looks like De Silva is getting Matahimovic. As he is actually gaining here. Has caught up by 2 tenths there. As this is for the win, as this is the final lap. Mahimovic going to be giving it his all now, especially on these final few turns. It's there, you can see him coming around here. Still 1.4 the gap, as it does look like De Silva may win this, as they're coming around the final turns now. That's the penultimate corner, and this is the final turn, as it seems to be that De Silva will be your race 1 winner here at Paul Ricard. Not too far behind is Matahimovic in second. Third place will go the way of the overtaker here, as he comes past the pit entry to cross the line into third. In fourth, you've got Euro. Not too far behind that is Gary 131. Big Boy Brazier as well. Not too far off the battle for these three. And Palavado in seventh, crossing the line now. Quite a happy end there, I can imagine. Then you've got Peaceful Explosion in eighth. In ninth, you've got Bryce Fury. What a race for him. In 10th, Sooty Apex in 11th. In 12th, though, you have Monkey Boy. And in 13th, you have Ugbar. Disco Face coming around the final set of turns here. As there you go. We'll be coming up to the penultimate corner in a second. As there you go, comes around the penultimate corner. Gives it a bit of a slide there. And comes down to the final turn now. He'll power down here past the pit entry. And the old Bumblebee mobile there. Crosses the line in 14th with Smokey Devil not too far behind in 15th. And an Orthodox there with a bit of a dirty car there from what it looks like. Just coming around the final sets of turns here. There's still quite a bit left for him, but either way, he will finish in 16th in this race. As he comes around the penultimate corner now, and then comes down through the final turn, avoids the curb, past the pit entry. It's very slow to cross the line here, but crosses the line and finishes in 16th. As that is your final classification for race 1. As we are now going to go for a break, and we will see you after the break with the driver interviews. Right, yeah, I just had the sound off. I apologise for that. Just do that again. Sorry. Is Overtaker. The top two are in the chat at the moment. Overtaker, just talk us through how your race went. Is obviously starting quite low down during qualifying, and now obviously onto the podium. Just obviously off air, you obviously said you was only really looking to get sixth, but then obviously you got into third. Obviously I can imagine that's quite an achievement for yourself there. And obviously not being able to qualify for this race, what are you actually looking to do into this second race? Right, well done, and thank you for joining us in the commentary boxes. We do move on to second here of Matt Himovic, and Matt, you was always near the top of the grid, but didn't just make being able to get into that first position. Just talk us through how your race felt for yourself.
So pretty much like Overtaker's just said, you know, we've been on testing a lot this week. I knew the pace of the guys. Fully expected Dan and Fiore to walk away with this. Didn't know De Silva's pace. Fair play to him. You know, he's shown cracking lap times. Surprised how strong the Bentley became at the end of the race. Got into the 54s, and that really, really shocked me. But second place on Bentley's 50th appearance at Simplay Motorsport, mate. I'll thoroughly take that, because that was a tough one. You know, that was a real tough one, and yeah, I'll thoroughly take that.
Yeah, as obviously off air, you actually said you was gutted that you didn't actually manage to get first position there, as you felt like you obviously had the pace coming the end of the race. And yeah,
look, every racing driver is going to want to win. Every driver, whether it's sim racing, real racing, you always want to go out there. You always want to get as best result as you can. To finish 6/10 behind De Silva, you always want to win. You always want to go out there and have that win. That's my mentality. You know me. You know, a lot of people know me in this community. That my mentality is to go out there, give my best, and try and win every race. Disappointed not to win, 100%. Happy with the podium. I'll snatch that, because there was no way I thought with Overtaker and Dan and Fiore's pace tonight that I'd be on here.
Yeah, and obviously without being able to qualify for race 2 and going into it, what are you thinking about doing going into this race? What are your thoughts on it?
Opening couple of laps going to be a bit tricky. You know, we look like from what I've worked out when people do their lap times, looks like we're going to be starting mid-pack. Looks like it's going to be tricky. I thoroughly expect Dan is going to get pole and just cruise, because Dan is rapid around here. I have no doubts, because he's had a bad race one, Dan will win this second race. He's in a great position to do that, which kind of sucks, because I feel that in the hour race the Bentley's stronger than in the half an hour race. So kind of sucks that Dan didn't have a good first race to be back down here. But halfway through the pack's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting. You know, Fiore as well can't qualify, so that's 2 Lamborghinis gone. We've just got to keep our nose clean. Got to keep concentrated through these first couple of laps, first couple of corners, and see where we end up. You know, it's going to be, I think, a fantastic second race.
Well done on obviously second place, and good luck for the next race.
Cheers. Just well done to Dan and to De Silva, sorry, and Overtaker as well. Also, the tables are updated.
Right. As I don't believe we have first place in here, so just gonna. As I apologise for this, people. No, we don't have first place in here, so we are that is what your podium people are, their thoughts on that race are. Is quite happy. Some are as 4 minutes, just under 5 minutes should I say, left of this session, and Unorthodox is leading the way on a 55 dead. 8 tenths behind that is Fiore CBK, only 8 tenths should I say behind that. Sooty Apex out in third at the moment, and Ugbar in fourth. In fifth you've got Disco McDisco Face, and then that is all you've got timing wise at the moment. 3 people still left to actually put a lap on the board, as I don't believe any of those are actually near completion of a lap. As the next person is the number 13 of Fiore, as he does come around the final few turns here. There he is going around the penultimate corner and coming here now through the final turn, on running that curb there, past the pit entry to cross the line. Will he go quicker? He does. He's 6 tenths off the back of Unorthodox here. Next carve out is Disco, then you have Monkey Boy, I believe that is number 16. I don't believe that was Unorthodox, not making any progress on his lap times there. Is Bryce not the next person? The next person will be Smoky Devil, as I believe that might have just invalidated his lap. No, as he comes to the line now, crosses the line, doesn't actually put a lap time in. Just 3 minutes left of this session at the moment now, so not very long left for these guys to get their lap times in. As I believe Fiore's not the one next to be. Bryce is the next one to cross the line, but still on the back straight here. We are going to just jump. Oh, is Bryce really off there? As you can see there, quite far off. We are going to jump off him. Just have a quick look here. Who's near the beginning of their laps? There isn't actually anyone. I think the closest you've got is Fiore here, as he's coming around the final few turns here. We'll keep on board of Fiore here though, and we're gonna just watch him do a lap around the circuit. Goes quite deep into the braking there. This comes around the final turn now to start another flying lap. He does do this lap. Has he gone any quicker? He does. He's 3 tenths off the back of Unorthodox here, of his teammate. As this lap will be crucial to him now to see if he can take pole. As there you can see him just going a few turns here. Mountain in the background. Looking like he's trying to use as less brake as possible here. Doesn't look to have helped him there though. It's right on the curb there. As he does now come onto the back straight, where again, like I say, it's different to the Formula 1. You only, you just get one long straight. You don't have that Bostock chicane, which would be now. No, yes, it would have been there, but you do not get it. So this is just one big long straight. This is going to test the power of the cars there. As he gets it really slowed down to come through here, where you are actually allowed to run a little bit more off the circuit there. Very slow there. The question is, will he be able to post the lap time that he's wanting? The next 3 cars to cross the line now will be of Unorthodox, of Bryce, and of Smoky Devil. Bryce being the next one after. we will keep an eye here. We're going to see, is there you go. Qualifying is now over. Will Fury take pole? We will find out. He doesn't. As we just quickly change this. As that's an Orthodox there. Bryce in 5th. An Orthodox stays on pole. Actually goes quicker there. And that is what your qualifying will look like. So what I will run you down the order. So in first you have an Orthodox 16. In second you have Fiore CBK. In third you've got Sooty Apex. In fourth you've got Ugbar. In fifth you've got Bryce. And in sixth you've got Monkey Boy. In seventh you've got Disco. In eighth you've got Matahimovic. In ninth you've got Peaceful. In 10th you've got De Silva. In 11th you've got Overtaker. And in 12th you've got Empalava. In 13th you've got Euro. And then in 14th you've got Garrett. And in 15th you've got Smokey. And then to finish this all off, you've got Big Boy Brazier in 16th. That is what your order will look like from the beginning. As we do now wait for everyone to ready up. As this is obviously now an hour's race. So people will be trying to get their setups right for that final hour. Make sure they've got the right amount of fuel and the right brakes on. As the last thing you want is to put the wrong fuel in and the wrong setup on, and then there's your race gone. As it is actually an FU Racing front 1-2 here at the moment.
30 seconds.
2 Lamborghinis at the front of the pack, leading away all the other cars.
20 seconds.
As we do now just wait. Just under 20 seconds left to go until the race starts.
10 seconds.
As it is now starting to kick in for some drivers that you need to be ready as we go racing. As there you go, the cars will now start moving momentarily. As there you go, Unorthodox, the first car to go. He will be leading the pack away in this second race for us. It's very slow there, Unorthodox, at the moment. Quite in front of the other guys. As we now wait as they come to the line. As we are green. And the drivers now will be fighting for position. As Fury looks like he gets in front of Unorthodox there. Unorthodox not looking to really go for any move on his teammate here. As Fury once again is leading a race. As it looks like Sooty Apex is battling with Monkey Boy there in the background. As no, actually, that looks to be Matahimovic fighting Monkey Boy here. Looks up the inside. Doesn't manage to get it done. As Bryce looks like he's wanting to try and join this battle here. As Cameraman looking the wrong direction here. As Matahimovic gets in front of Monkey Boy there. And will be in front of this pack of cars coming in onto the long straight. He will be at a disadvantage though compared to these other cars. As all the other cars will be getting the slipstream from him. Where he's having to just get the drag off the air. As there is just one nice little neat line happening. As it looks like the Silver and Monkey Boy looking like they're going to want to try and go for an optimistic move here. Monkey Boy in front. The Silver also in front. Matahimovic really wide. As there is contact in the background. And it's just a mass amount of cars just mangled together here. As I believe that's an Orthodox. As he does go back to the pits. As the last few, as that was quite a big incident for some of the drivers. As that is not what you're wanting to see. As it looks like a couple of the cars have some major damage on them. Unorthodox retires to the pit cell. he will, I can imagine, be waiting now to come back out. Zugbar here in the back. The pit lane is open. There's unorthodox there, just dropping down the pack here. There's Fiore here in front with a nice 1.8 second gap. Bryce on the back of Matahimovic here, 5/10 a gap for him. As we are going to actually jump down here as the overtaker, looking like he's actually got damage in a four-way battle here, trying of a train with Big Boy Brazier, Gary 131, Overtaker and Euro, all in one big nice little neat line here. Big Boy Brazier though giving the slipstream to all the other cars, as that was a car just a little bit off it. As Matahimovic there, Big Boy, no, that's Gary 131 should I say, on the back of Big Boy Brazier. Is he going to pull out? He is. Go side by side with Big Boy Brazier there. Looks like he may get that move done on him, as it looks like they're going to go 3 wide here. They're not, but the Overtaker does get that advantage and also manages to get past. Euro looking like he's wanting to also get past, but just manages to miss his opportunity there. The Overtaker though running a little bit wider going through that part of the circuit. As it looks like Big Boy Brazier is wanting to get those positions back. Gary 131 looking like he might have just maybe had to slam his brakes on, or maybe even come off the throttle a little bit there, as the Overtaker now down the inside of Gary 131. It looks like Big Boy Brazier wanted to follow him, but didn't have, just kind of chickened out at the last minute there. Big Boy Brazier looking up the inside of Gary 131. He has fallen off though, still looking. Goes back to where he was though. Euro in the background there, still in this little battle here, as the Overtaker really wide off the track there. Is Gary 1, as we are going to jump up to the front here, as Matahimovic on the back of Sutty here. As Matahimovic will try and get past him. He will be in his slipstream, so he has got that as an advantage here. There's a bit of a flash there from Matahimovic at the moment. Is an awful still in the pits, so not what he will be wanting here. Matahimovic, as you can see in the background there, still on the back of Sutty Apex. Doesn't seem to be able to get that move done on him now. 3 seconds is the gap to Fiore now though. So Fiore, quite a lead away from these guys. Not comfortable enough though to say that that's that. It's Matahimovic nearly hitting the rear of Sutty there. Just manages to keep it off though. As we are going to jump back to this little battle here, we're going to have a little gander, as there is another battle happening here with Empalava. 3/10 the gap apparently between Euro and Big Boy Brazier. So this could get a bit messy if done wrong, but Big Boy Brazier is still looking at Gary 131 here. There's quite a gap formed there. We'll jump onto that in a second. Matahimovic looking up the inside there, decides better of it. Sounded like the car was about to kick out then, but it doesn't, as Sutty really defending off the back of Matahimovic here. But Matahimovic will again have the advantage of the slipstream coming down the long straight here. As it looks like it's really benefiting in him, as he does look up, does pull out there. looks on the inside. Looks like he's side by side with him. And he does get that move done. Pulls right in front of Sutty there to stop him from trying to even contemplate going for that move. It's Matahimovic now into second. Sutty Apex not too far behind him, third though. As we now will jump down here, back to this little battle here. Euro, 1/10 the gap between him and Big Boy Brazier at the moment. It looks like Unorthodox has actually left the session here. So Unorthodox has left, so he will get a Quali 1 ban, I believe, next week. As Euro still on the back of Big Boy Brazier, lost a little bit of time, but either way, still on the back of him. It looks like he's actually got the advantage of speed here. Is he going to pull out? No, he won't, because there's too much of a gap from what it looks like from our POV here. There's an Orthodox in the chat saying I'm done. So he has retired from the session now. As Euro still on the back of Big Boy Brazier here. There's that look like a cone that flew about there in the background. Gary 131 still controlling these two cars behind him at the moment, but it looks like it's giving Smokey Devil some time to catch up to these guys, as that will be obviously extra points for Michael Massey. Michael Massey, Mango Lasset, as these guys now all in one big line. 10 minutes gone past the race, 50 minutes left in it. Don't forget, the pit window won't open until 20 minutes into the race, and will close 20 minutes before the end of the race. The overtaker and what looks to be Empalava. So it looks like these guys are actually catching up to these. So could become a 6-car battle in a second, as it's quite bunched up here in the mid-pack. Very close racing here, as the two teammates looking quite optimistic about trying to want to get more positions, as obviously the overtaker getting a third in that race. And when he obviously said in the interview he wasn't expecting that, maybe could come again, could maybe be another podium. We will have to wait and see. Is Euro right on the back? He's actually done Big Boy Brazier here, so Big Boy Brazier may have had a mistake. Either way though, Euro on the back of Gary 131 here. There's that cone that I was talking about, flying about in the background. Euro will be really pushing to try and get on the back of Gary 131 here. Is Euro still on the back of Gary 131 here? As it looks like he's actually gaining on the back of Gary 131 here. Is he going to try and pull out for a move? Gary looks like he's going to try and stop him. He does pull out. Is he going to be able to get this move done? It looks like he shoots past Gary there. As he does, and he gets in front of him. As Gary now demoted the place. Euro in 7th. As the car's looking to be bouncing a little bit there. The next car for Euro will be Empalava. Gary 131 though, I would imagine, won't be going out without a fight. So he will be pushing to try and get that position back off of Euro there. But it looks like Big Boy Brazier is kind of catching up on the back of Gary 131 here. So he won't be exactly happy or thrilled with that one. Either way, we are going to jump up here quickly, as it looks like Bryce is on the back of someone. He is, and it is the overtaker, I believe. So all the battles are happening in the mid-pack here at the moment. Mahimovic though, 5 seconds off the off of Fury CVK here. As there you can see, Bryce is catching up a little bit, piece by piece, to Overtaker here. As actually, according to the timing screens, he's lost time, I believe. Zempalava not too far off the back of these either. About roughly the same gap, but these guys are in a bit of a team sandwich here. As Garrett still fending off Big Boy Brazier in the background there. As I apologise for that. As yeah, Gary 131 still fending off the back of Big Boy Brazier here. Big Boy Brazier obviously having that benefit of the slipstream, as it looks like it's really benefiting him here. As he has pulled time towards him here. He looks up the inside. As these two side by side, really close combat racing here. Oh, as it looks like there's contact between the two. There's maybe it look. Oh, there's a bit of flashing from Big Boy Brazier, but it looks like Gary 131 will give him that position back, I think. As he does, as these two still be racing, is Gary giving him a bit of a flash there. As these two still really close. The Big Boy Brazier also now in front of Gary 131. Gary now demoted down to 9th. Big Boy Brazier in 8th. As these guys are flying around the track at the moment. 5 minutes though until the pit window will open. Overtaker 6/10 off the back of Sooty Apex here, so Sooty will be really defending from Overtaker here. As it looks like Empalava on the back of Bryce as well, so we'll have a look at that quickly. We'll actually jump over here quickly because we'll see, will he get the slipstream? It looks like he is gaining. We will find out closer. Is he going to pull out for a move? We'll see in a second. He does. He is going to look up the inside here. And it looks like he pulls back in there. As he does. As these two still fighting here. And in the background, obviously, you can see Empalava is fighting with Bryce at the minute. As the Overtaker really off the track a little bit there from where it seems. Sooty Apex slow going through there. Maybe a tactic to try and slow the Overtaker down. As he's all over the curb. Sooty though did it a little bit wrong there, as the Overtaker is on his outside. The Overtaker doesn't manage to get that position, but will be in the slipstream and will have the better straight line speed here. Looks to go up the inside of Sooty Apex here. Will he get that move done? We will find out in a minute. Does he come round? Oh, does it look like there might have been a bit of contact there? As it doesn't, as you can see through his window there, a bit of counter steering, so maybe a little bit too much throttle going through there, giving him a bit of a slide that he doesn't want. We are going to jump back a little bit, as it does look like Empalava has been overtaken by Bryce. As it looks like Fury is really taking a lead now. Fury 5.4 seconds in front of the other drivers here. 4/10 is the gap between Empalava and Bryce here, so he's going to be really pushing still to get that position off of him, because he's obviously going to be wanting to get the most out of this race. As he pulls out, he goes in front of Bryce from what it looks like from this point of view. He does, as it now allows Euro to get into this little battle here. Is Euro just on his, only just within track limits, as actually I think he cut the track limits there, because his dot is appearing as blue. As Bryce loses out to Empalava, but is now going to be reeling in Euro here. As Empalava will be pushing to try and get past Sooty Apex. It's 4 seconds, nearly 5 seconds is the gap to Matahimovic. There's Matahimovic here, having his own little race at the moment. As that is what's happening there. Fury also having his own little race, being nearly 6 seconds in front of second place here. He will be hoping that there's no repeat of race 1 where he's either in off or a bit of a collision with someone, as that would be very unfortunate for himself here. As we'll just jump back here, as Bryce looks like he's lost time to Empalava here. Is Euro now really starting to reel in Bryce here? As actually he's on his rear here. He's going to pull out. He's going to have that inside line going through here, and actually gets in front of him regardless. So actually Euro now in 6th. Euro would... Oh, is Jamie Brazier really wide off the track there, sliding. As that allows Gary 131 to get past, get back past big boy Brazier there. There's a few drivers actually in the pits. Disco McDisco Face and Ugbar to be the 2 in the pits. 35 seconds before the pit window though. I apologise for that. As Empalava now going to be doing a job and a half to try and keep Euro off the back of him, as he will not be wanting to give up his positions that easily. Euro really gaining on the back of Empalava here, as there you go, the pit window is now open, so drivers can now pit to do their pit strategy. There's not very long left here for drivers. 20 minutes is the pit window to be exact, as the track now starting to get a little bit more wider here, spread out a little bit. Euro on the back of Empalava here, right on the rear in fact, nearly touching bumper to rear bumper to front bumper here. They do go side by side, but Euro decides to go for the outside line here, but I do believe he gets Empalava done anyway. As there you go, another position. As there you go, Empalava now behind Euro. As Empalava will be wanting to get that position back. As it looks like Bryce goes wide there, but he doesn't. Gary 131 though will be trying to gain on Bryce here to get that position, get another few points for the constructors and the drivers, as a matter of fact, as Peaceful and Disco actually leaves the session. So I don't know if that was a retirement. If it was, that would be another one to get a quali ban for next for the next race. As There you go. Gary 131 also in the pits, and Peaceful Explosion just being dropped from his pit box. As people wanting to do the earlier call here at Paul Ricard. Is Bryce only 3 tenths off the back of Empalava here, so Empalava may be having a bit of an incident. I'm not too sure as Sutty getting kind of reeled in by Euro here. Euro only take 8 tenths off of him. 8 tenths is the gap also from Bryce to Empalava here. As that gap is slowly coming down, so Euro trying to find his way onto the top 5, already in the top 5, in the top 4 should I say. But obviously 2 drivers now already pitted, still another 12 left to go, as that will bring the cars obviously closer, as Euro really gaining on Sutty Apex here. Sutty obviously starting in 3rd from the get-go. Now in 4th. Could potentially go down to 5th if Euro is able to catch him. We'll find out though. Is Euro, and Sutty should I say, on the start straight. Euro in his slipstream. 4 tenths is now the gap. Bryce pulls the trigger and comes in the pits, and so does Monkey Boy. Another 2 drivers decide to come in pit early rather than later. It's really twitchy there from Sutty Apex, as that allows Euro to pretty much just slide past him there. As there you go, Sutty staying very close to the inside there, as that's actually allowed Empalava to kind of gain on to Sutty Apex here. 7 tenths a gap for him, as these all obviously still need to pit in this race. Empalava right on the back of Sutty Apex here. Pulls out. He is looking on that inside. It looks like his wheel, the 2 wheels are about touching there. We will see though, as he decides to pull back in, so maybe not having as much of a tow as he was expecting. Either way, Empalava 1 tenth behind Sutty Apex here. As it looks like Matt Himovic is actually catching on Fury at the moment as well. 12 laps now done, nearly at the halfway point of this race. As Empalava here lost a little bit of time from what it looks like to Sutty Apex. As they do come around the final corner now. Does any of these guys decide to pit? No, they don't. No one else, I believe, is either in the pit. It's 50, just over 14 minutes left of the pit window. The pit window only being open for 5 minutes. As the overtaker 5 tenths off the gap of Matt Himovic here. So Matt Himovic maybe having a bit of a mistake, or the overtaker maybe really racy at the moment. 7 seconds now. Matt Himovic to Fury. So Fury is running away with the lead of this race at the moment. 3 tenths is the gap between overtaker and Matt Himovic. Matt Himovic will not have the benefits like what the overtaker will have with the slipstream. It looks like that slipstream is really helping him, as the overtaker looks like, will he pull out? He will pull out. Matt Himovic doesn't look to defend it, as it looks like they go side by side. There's Matt Himovic going a bit wide there, but still stays side by side. Matt Himovic slowly losing out to the overtaker. It looks like the overtaker has just got that one done on Matt Himovic. So the overtaker now will be looking to try and gain on Fury. But Matimovic saying no to that, and will be wanting that position back, as it looks like Matimovic really fighting to try and get that back off of the overtaker here. This is a battle for second, as the overtaker looking to have pulled a little bit of a gap there. Does Matimovic decide to pit? No, he doesn't. It did look like he was about to pull out there. Decides better of it though. Matimovic slowly losing time to the overtaker there. 6 tenths nearly, the gap. And Palava though on Sooty Apex. They are side by side here. As it does look like Empalava pulls out of it as he slams the anchors on there so he doesn't crash into Sooty going into turn 1. Big Boy Brazier in the pits though. So yet another guy to jump in the pits. That'll still leave another 9 drivers to do their pit stop. The Silver not looking like he's doing the greatest in this race, contrary to race 1. These guys really feeling a bit racy from where it looks like, but Matimovic slowly closing that gap. Actually, Matimovic back in front of the overtaker. The overtaker pulling back out from where it looks like. He does, as these guys will go side by side from where it looks like into here. I believe he might have even got that done. No, Matimovic running wide there. Thinking about it, that is actually within the track limits. As Matimovic losing out to the overtaker again. As Big Boy Brazier now out of the pits. As these two still yet to pit. 8 seconds now, nearly the gap for Fiore here. So maybe just a bit of a runaway lead here for him. Obviously, Fiore also yet to pit still. Matimovic though, into the pits. Pulls in, is now in the pits. Decides better of it and comes in at that halfway point of the race. Is Empalava the other guy to be fighting on the track is actually Empalava and Sooty decide to actually come into the pits. Gary and Big Boy Brazier though fighting for positions here, as well as Bryce as well. All 3 of them. I apologise for that. As yeah, another 3 cars in the pits. Halfway point of the race. Gary 131 gaining on Bryce here. As all 3 of these cars in this battle here have all pitted. As after this, there'll still be, I believe, off the top of my head here, another 6 cars to pit. If I have done the maths right in my head there. As it will be 6 more cars left to pit. As there you go, Matimovic goes, Sooty now on his way out, and Empalava just in front of Sooty here. As I believe there's a bit of a switch in position there. I don't know if that's outside of track limits there for the pit exit, but we will find it out at the end of the race, as that looks to be Matimovic there. It was not, that was Gary 131. So these guys now having a 4-way battle here. No, 5-way nearly. Nearly 6 in fact, if they can catch up to Monkey Boy there in the, just passing the camera here. Bryce, then Gary, and then you've got the other 3 cars of Empalava, Big Boy Brazier and Sooty Apex. So quite the mid-pack fight here. As I believe, yes, now Fiore and De Silva in the pits as well. Fiore just stopped, his car looking a little bit dirty there. De Silva there not having the race he would have wanted. But nonetheless, 2 more cars in the pits. That means we've got 4 more cars left to pit. There's Matahimovic on the back of what looks to be Smoky Devil. Another car yet to pit. Fury, your as of the minute race leader, just out of the pits, looking quite racy in that Lamborghini. Quite dirty, that girl, though. Maybe need to get a bit of a power wash on that at the end of the race, but you can't do it during the race. Zugbar also in the pits, leaving 3 more people yet to pit. As now the gap is falling. Big Boy Brazier right on the back of Empalava. This is going to give time for Sooty Apex to be able to catch up to these guys. 6 minutes though, just under 7 minutes should I say, left of the pit window. Just under 27 minutes though left of the race. And all the pit stops are nearly out of the way. The overtaker now in the pits as well. But now the pit stops are nearly done. We are getting some interesting racing here. Does that look like Monkey Boy there being passed by the leaders there? I believe Monkey Boy a lap dad. But I don't know what's wrong with me today, but it seems to be everything at the moment. As there is a drive through for Ugbar there. The top, Euro also now in the pit. When will the overtaker be dropped? As it looks like Mahimovic only a little bit off of these guys. Will the overtaker be able to stay in front of Mahimovic? We will see as we keep an eye out. As Mahimovic coming around the final corner now. Is Euro now dropped? The overtaker only just dropped. He will be the first to come out of the pits though. He comes off the limiter now. Matahimovic at full speed. Will Matahimovic get in front? No. It looks like overtaker is still in front of Matahimovic. Not too far in front of Matahimovic though. Is Fury CBK, or should I say, now in the lead, should I say. It's Smokey in the pits as well. The final car left the pit. 5 minutes left on that timer there, but everyone has now pitted. Is Fury just dominating this race here. 15 seconds according to my timing screen here in front, but Matahimovic on the back of the overtaker. Will he be able to get that position? It's now 9 tenths. He will have the benefit of the slipstream. Big Boy Brazier on the back of Empalava. We will jump over to that, as that is apparently a lot closer than what those two are at the moment. As yes, these guys will be pushing to their limits at the moment. Everyone has now pitted though, so the pit window is now null and void. Is that meaning that we will not be of need of it anymore? 24 minutes left of this race, and as of what it looks like, Sooty there all over the curb there, nearly spinning out from what it looked like from our point of view. As this battle here starting to get a bit more interesting, as the time starts ticking downwards, it just gives the drivers that extra oomph to try and give it their all. As Big Boy Brazier not too far off the back of Empalava here, as Empalava will be trying to defend like mad here. Will not want to lose that position, as Ugbar's drive through there is now cleared, so not too bad for him, as that's a very slow Ugbar from what it looks like. getting in all the other drivers' ways. Sooty Apex side by side with him. Sooty maybe not very happy with him for that specific reason. As the gap still 8 tenths for Big Boy Brazier and M Palava. Himovic though now dropped to a second behind Overtaker here. 7 tenths now the gap though for M Palava. As we do keep an eye on the timing screens here. As cars still quite spread out from each other, but you're getting those odd battles here and there. As many of you say, you love it, all the battles which are here and there. As Sooty 1.2 off the back of Big Boy Brazier. It's really twitchy at the back there. The Overtaker, I believe, is about 16-17 seconds off the back of Fury CBK. As it looks like Fury may have gained in the pits. As if I remember correctly, Matt Himovic was only about 7 or so seconds off the back of him pre-pits. There you go. 7 tenths now the gap. So not too far. 5 tenths now the gap though. We'll get it. Big Boy Brazier go for a move. 21 minutes left of the race. So not very long for these guys to be able to get those final positions on the board here. As again 5 tenths the gap for Big Boy Brazier. As you can see, Big Boy Brazier is reeling in M Palava here, as that is what he's going to be wanting to do. But it actually looks like he may have lost a bit there, but he did have a better line going through there, so he may be back to where he was. He will have the slipstream of M Palava here. That is one bonus he will have coming down this long straight. We will see where it puts him out though. At the minute though, according to my screen, he is about 7.5 tenths off the back of Big Boy Brazier, as Smoky Devil getting a drive-through penalty here. Maybe for cutting too many track limits, as many of the guys will be aware you only need, if you get 4 warnings for track limits, you will get a drive-through. 7 tenths still the gap. Matt Himovic losing, starting to fold off the back of the Overtaker. But there you go, just like the guy on the radio says, that is the end of the mandatory pit stops here. As Matt Himovic, has he had an incident? As he has just lost about 4 tenths in that one little gap there. The Overtaker though, maybe gaining on the back of Fury there. We'll jump back over to this little race between Big Boy Brazier and M Palava, as that is the closest battle that we have on the track at the minute. As we do wait now. As now the gap 9 tenths nearly. So not too far off the back of him here. Big Boy Brazier, if I know him well enough, I'd know that he's starting to really wanting to get in those positions. 2 laps for Smoky Devil to get those positions off of 2 more laps until he has to do, until he failed his drive-through. Is Holty in the back in the comments here? What happened to you, Dan? I believe he had a bit of an incident and he ended up crashing his car to a point where he needed to return to the pits. either way, this gap is starting to kind of spread out a little bit here. 1 second now, the gap between Big Boy Brazier and Empalava. Is De Silva actually on the back of someone, I believe. No, he's not. I believe that was Peaceful Explosion, who is actually now behind him. Is that Peaceful Explosion really deep there? Is people now maybe starting to struggle near the end of this race. We are a good 43 minutes nearly into this race now though. So nearly the end of the race, not too far off. As these guys now will now start pushing for these positions. Is Empalava looking like he's not too far off the back of Gary 131. No, he isn't. Bryce not too far in front of Gary there either. As this race could start to get a little bit more interesting here, as the cars, as the drivers now be really itching for those positions on for the final classification of the race. Obviously, at the end of this race, we'll be getting the top three into the commentary box. 16 minutes, nearly 15 minutes left of this race though. So get your driver of the day in. Obviously a little bit early, but want to hear from you guys in the chat of who your driver of the day is in this race. Is not too far off now. Is here Empalava 1.4 1.1 seconds a gap. Same behind him now. Big Boy Brazier 1.1 the gap to Empalava, but Empalava bit of a slide there from what it looks like from my position. As we do wait here, is 5/10 the gap now, so Empalava really going to be wanting to get into defensive mode to try and keep Jamie off the back of him. As there you can hear the cars roaring past. Empalava though really starting to get on the back of Gary 131, now starting to become a bit of a freeway battle here. As Gary stays in front, is in front using his defensive skills on the circuit. As Big Boy Brazier also wanting to join in on this battle. Really close now. As these guys all racing for the same point of getting those points for the constructors and getting those points for the drivers. So as like Matt said in the interview, a racer will always go for the best thing they possibly can. Obviously in his case it was foreseeable but just missed out on it, but in this race is in third, 4.8 the gap for Mahimovic to the overtaker. The overtaker I believe is actually gaining on Fury CVK, but we will see in a minute, as we will just keep an eye on this battle here actually. As Big Boy Brazier 4 tenths a gap to Empalava, 5 tenths is at enter Gary. So battle here. There's Holty in the chat as well. Come on the Bentleys. As I can imagine, that is all that Gary 131 and Mahimovic will need to keep them going through this race though. 13 minutes left of the race though. Not very long left. There's Empalava right on the back of Gary 131 here. Is Empalava will be wanting to get that extra position here, but Big Boy Brazy not too far off the back, so Gary could be getting himself into a little bit of trouble here with having these two drivers behind him at the moment. We'll find out though come near the end of the race, as Gary is doing a stellar job at the moment of defending from these two. As I say, that runs a little bit deeper, well, a bit wider should I say, than what expected, but either way, not a bad race from him at the moment. Is Big Boy Brazy, as you can see, is actually closer to Empalava now, as it looks like he might actually look for a move. Is he going to go for it? He pulls back in. Maybe unsettling, trying to unsettle N here. As they do come around here again, as I do not know any of the track corners here for the life of me. So I'm trying my best. As you can see Big Boy Brazier right on the back of Empalava here, as quite a lot of action tonight. There's 17 likes in the comments. Let's try and get to 20 likes by the end of the race. Would be much appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, press that subscribe button if you want to see more, and press the bell notification button if you want to keep notified for whenever we stream in the future. Very important to do that. But back to the racing here. Big Boy Brazier on the back of Empalava, an overtaker, gaining onto Fury here. 11.9 the gap now. As it looks like Sutty in the background trying to get his little car shown on the cameras here. There's another guy not having the worst race, could have had a better one, but not the worst that he has had in the in his time here at Simplay. As Empalava slowly gaining on Gary 131 here. You did just slightly see the shadow of his car on the track. Either way, he has the slipstream. He is gaining. Big Boy Brazy, these three having an absolute beautiful battle at the moment. As Empalava's looking like he's starting to really get him very impatient, is the word I was thinking of. Very impatient, trying to wait for these positions. He's been, from what it looks like, he's really wanting to get him now, but it looks like his car is starting to lose a little bit of grip, a bit of twitching from the driver there. Either way, slamming on the brakes there from Gary 131, as it looks like Empalava gets a better run coming out of the final turn here. Blue flags being flown. I don't know who that is for, but Empalava still in the slipstream. He did look to have had the better exit to the final turn here, but going into turn 1, not too bad, but Empalava just seems to kind of drop off coming through the twisted turn. He seems to gain the most time coming down the start straights, down the long straights should I say, is we do only have one start straight unless you are greedy like Silverstone, which was last week, which if you do want to check that out, you can have a look in the YouTube and you can have a look at the other races that happened around here. All British week obviously last week. Back to this, 3/10 now the gap, right on the rear of Garrett, and then the cameraman pans around and it looks like he's a bit further away than what it does look to be. Either way, will he pull out? We will find out in a second. He looks to go on the inside, but then looks like he will pull out of that. Is Big Boy Brazier in the background there. It's not really going up, not going down. Gary, though, really wide off the track. And as Gary would say, thank you, mama, for the carrots. As he will say it, as there you go. Thank you, mama, for the carrots, as he would say. And so will Jamie, actually. Side by side for Empalava and Jamie here. Who will be... They're going to play a game of chicken here. Who's going to press the brakes first? Who's going to pull out first? We're going to see these guys still going side by side. Gary will see these guys. We'll be thinking, this is where I'm going to be. Is Empalava, looks like he wins that little battle there. But Big Boy Brazier, that will not be just it from Big Boy Brazier. 7 minutes left of this session now. Not very long left of the race. 9 seconds now, the gap to Fury CBK. So Overtaker really starting to pull in Fury here. But this is the battle that we are keeping our eyes on at the moment. As this is the closest battle that you have got on the track at the moment. Is Empalava really doing well to stay where he is on the track at the moment? As Gary also doing a really good job at defending here. But Empalava right on the rear now of Gary 131. Is he going to be able to get this move done? We will see. He does pull out. Will he be able to keep his toe though? Will he have the better of Gary here? As they do look like they're about to go side by side, but it looks like Empalava pulls back in, thinks better of it, but is right all over the rear of Gary 131 at the moment. As it does look like Gary 131 might start struggling here, as defending for the for almost the entire race here. Or as it looks like they nearly make contact there, as that would have really ticked off Empalava. But either way, they didn't, so that is positive in both our books here. But he does stay behind him. And Big Boy Brazier really looking eager to get past the Empalava here. But Empalava looking really really racy to try and get past Gary 131. It's 5 minutes left, or should I say just over 5 minutes left of the race. This is the last 5 minutes. This is the most crucial, as this could mean that these last 5 minutes could decide where the final classification and what will the final classification will look like. As Gary is really doing a very good job here at defending, and Empalava as well. As these guys, it looks like Big Boy Brazier gets the better of Empalava here. As Big Boy Brazier does, but Empalava doesn't look to be quite happy with that, and looks like he may even try and get a move on Big Boy Brazier. We will find out in a second, as he does get in his slipstream here, but Big Boy Brazier been waiting for all that time to get past him, and Empalava will say now, or I could expect him to say now, as it looks like he goes on the outside here, as he may be going side by side, coming through here, as they do, and Empalava does a bit of a mat there, running wide, but it's okay because it is still within the track limits. Empalava though slowly pulling off a little bit, but Big Boy Brazier quite a distance off of the back of Gary 131, but that will be his main goal in a minute. 4 minutes left of the race now though, people. Not very long left at all. De Silva though, not looking too far like he's off the back of Smokey Devil, so we will jump over here quickly, as we do want to have a little gander at and see what is also happening on the track with the other cars. The Overtaker really starting to gain on the back of Fury CBK. The question is, will he be able to do it, as he will only have about 1 or 2 laps left to go in this race, with only 3.5 minutes left to go. as De Silva right on the rear of Smoky Devil here, as maybe looking like it's taking his time here. Not the race De Silva would have wanted, but it is a race he has been given, and he's trying to make the most of what he can with getting into 10th. It would be trying to get into 10th, which is obviously the next car in front of him. The question is, how patient is he going to be? Obviously, with only 2 minutes and 50 seconds left of the race, he can't wait an eternity. He has very limited time to be able to get past them. As they do come down the start straight past the pit entry there, Zugbar in the pits again. So not something he would have wanted, but it is what he's got as well. As it looked like De Silva was going to go for a move there and decided to pull out at last minute. As he is all over the rear of Smoky Devil, and looks like he bounces down to come back up and looks a bit unstable there, so kind of stops him from getting that position off of him. As that is Fury CBK coming up to lap these guys here, in fact. As I can imagine De Silva would have been loving to be where Fury is at the minute. Such a shame what's obviously happened to him, as I believe some contact during the first few laps of the race obviously relegated him down to where he is at the moment and kind of stuck. Either way, De Silva on the back of Smoky Devil, looking around the outside here. We are going to see, does he keep it stuck? He does, but doesn't get the position. There's Fury in the background, a man on a mission here. 8.6 now the gap, but this will be, I believe Fury's going to get one more lap in. Everyone will get one more lap in, and then we will be done for tonight. 1 minute though left of the race. Will Fury be able to cross that line before that minute is up? I would imagine so. Is De Silva here, right, still right on the back of Smoky Devil. It looks like there hasn't been much of a move between Big Boy Brazier, M Palava and Gary 131. As there you go, the radio guy has now just said this is the final lap of the race. Fury is now doing the final lap of the race. So here you go. De Silva kind of fell off the back of Smoky Devil there, so maybe struggling to get past him here. 10 seconds left on the timer, but all of these guys here will get another lap in, as Big Boy Brazy is still on the back of Gary 131. As this is the lap where everything this is where everything will go. This is where everyone will be wanting to get those final positions and will really start to push for them. Is Gary, or should I say Big Boy Brazier, looking to go for a move, doesn't actually do it, pulls out of it at last minute. But Big Boy Brazier is still on the back of Gary 131, but looking very optimistic to make moves here. Here he goes, pulls out again, pulls back in, trying to unsettle Gary 131 from what it looks like here. We're going to have a look where Fury is, as he is coming around the final few turns, and we are going to jump back here, but keep an eye on where the number 13 should I say, of Fury is Big Boy Brazier, as we are going to jump back onto Fury now, as he is just about to cross the line to finish this race. It looks like actually De Silva gets Smoky in the end. But here is your race 2 winner. He comes down the line and wins the second race. Fury CBK, the winner of your race. Overtaken out, comes down the line now and finishes in second. And then Mate Himovic, not too far off there, as you can see. slowly coming around the circuit. Maybe not be as happy with that result, but either way, he will be happy. The fact that he is on the podium for a second time in the race. Mahimovic third, Euro in fourth, Bryce now just coming around the final, the penultimate corner, now the final corner. Will completely miss the curb, past the pit entry, and then past the wall until he crosses the line in fifth. These two side by side coming across the line. As it looks like that was Gary, then N, then Big Boy Brazier there. Not too far behind Gary. Sooty Apex in ninth. De Silva will be the next car, I believe. No, the number 4 of Monkey Boy will be the next one to cross the line to finish your race. As what a race this has been today. As here you go. He comes to the line now. As there you go. Monkey Boy finishes in 13th place there. As the last two cars just coming around now. As these two. It looks like the Silver will be the next car to cross the line. As here he is. Coming to the line now. Crosses the line in a second. Passes the pit entry. Crosses the line in 10th. And Smokey Devil in 11th. As that is your race. That is what. That is how your race has finished. Is Smokey Devil going somewhere? As we will wait for your top 3 to jump in. But while we do wait here, I am going to just have a quick. I don't know if these tables are up to date yet.
The tables are up to date.
As there you go. As I will run through the tables while we wait for the top 3 for all to come in. So in P1 you have Overtaker leading by 11 points to De Silva in second. Mahimovic in third, only 4 points the gap between him and De Silva in second. Gary 131 in fourth, not too far behind, no, 3 points the gap. Fury in fifth. Big Boy Brazier in sixth, and only 2 points behind Big Boy Brazier here. M Palava in seventh. In eighth you've got Bryce with only 1 point the gap there, so still quite tight looking here in the mid part of the Drivers' Championship. Not too far behind with 2 points the gap is Unorthodox to Bryce in P9. In P10 you've got Euro with only 8 points the gap there. And then Peaceful Explosion in 11th, 5 points the gap. P12 you've got Monkey Boy, 1 point the gap there, so really close in the mid part of the table, like I say. In 13th though, Smokey Devil, 2 points the gap, as well as Arts, who won't be gaining any more points, but 2 points would have been the gap. That would have been 12 points the gap for him. Ugbardo in 15th, and then Sooty in 16th, 1 point the gap for him. 3 points off, tied here though. Exit Tibbs, another one that won't be racing again, and D Biggs, only 3 points off of Sooty Apex. And in 19th is Disco McDisco Face, as we do, as I believe we have got the top 3 in, so we'll start off. Yeah, as we're gonna leave that for a second. We'll jump on to the top 3 as we'll start with Matt Himovic. As Matt, better race than the last one, but at the end you just seem to have dropped off a little bit.
I don't know which race you was watching, because I thought it was worse than race 1, to be fair, mate. I said in race 1 the Bentley feels good at the end. All testing all week I said the Bentley's going to be, I reckon the Bentley will be a good car in race 2. It seems to go better on the longer distance. It just didn't have anything in that second race. It had nothing. I got past Sooty a bit, then like Fury just kept gapping me a couple of attempts, and Overtaker brought the gap down. There was nothing out of his Bentley. It was literally, that hour was a Sunday drive. A Sunday drive.
Yeah, and
Good fight with over. I will say, respect to Overtaker, man. We had a good fight for 2 laps through that quick right-hander, side by side, corner after. It was fantastic, fantastic little scrap, really good. But how was all my race was? It was just bar that. It was just literally a Sunday stroll.
Yeah, and just talk us through, how did the car actually feel? Because I believe I actually seen you twitch a
Slow.
few times in the car.
No, that was just me sort of grabbing a drink and stuff. The car was fine. It just had no pace. You got 44.7 or 54.7 or whatever it was race 1. In this race I couldn't get out the 56s. Just had no pace, just lacked pace in this race. Don't know why, because I was really looking forward to the second one. But you know what it is, 3rd place, another podium. Didn't expect 2 podiums tonight, so I'll bite your hand off at that.
Yeah, what are you actually looking to do going into Nürburgring as being the next race?
Obviously, week break for everybody, so that everybody gets the same amount of time to have a week off and test due to work commitments and other things, meaning that we can't stream Pro-Am next week. So obviously that'll be in 2 weeks' time. I like Nürburgring. Will it suit the Bentley? God knows. We'll have to wait and see. I think it will. So we'll wait and see. We'll see what we can do. I like the Nürburgring. I think it's a good track. It's where I won my Pro-Am championship. I've always gone well there when I've raced here, so yeah, we'll see. Look forward to the track, but you know, massive well done to De Silva for race 1 and Overtaker and Fiore for race 2, especially Fiore, man. I know he's been on the pace this week, and you know he deserves the race win.
Yeah, well done and good luck going into next week. As we will
Cheers,
go
boys.
over to
Week after,
yeah. We'll go over to the Overtaker now, as I believe he's in the party. Overtaker. Coming near the end of the race, it just seemed like you were starting to really gain on Fiore.
yeah.
Yeah, and obviously with your first race, I can imagine you're even happier with getting this second race coming second, as I can imagine you didn't see 2 podiums coming tonight. Yeah, and obviously going into next week at the week after, should I say? I'm gonna have to remember that. Going into the week after, going into Nürburgring, do you think you'll be able to carry this momentum over, or do you reckon you could do better? Well done for tonight, and good luck for the week after. Fiore, Fiore though, you just walked away with that race win.
Yeah, it was a lot better than race 1, I gotta say that. It was definitely a difficult one, but the car just felt so much quicker and so much more just comfortable in race 2 than it was race 1.
Yeah, there was a bit of incident, I believe, during race 1. Could you just talk us through what happened there? Obviously that cost you your podium, I believe, in race 1.
I was on the outside of the silver, coming into the quick right-hander after the back straight, and it was just, I guess, we didn't really give each other enough room and just caught me in the side, spun me around, and I lifted off the ground. There was no way I could stop it.
as obviously, like I've asked the others, what do you what is your opinions on going into Nürburgring not next week, the week after? And do you think would you be able to go in with the same momentum going into that track as you have here?
I haven't really tried the Nürburgring out yet. I just gotta find a setup, make it feel comfortable for me, see what lap times I can do compared to everyone else, and just see where it takes me.
Right, well done and good luck for obviously the week after this one
Well
coming. As I am going to quickly go through the constructors here before we finish off here, as I did obviously go through the drivers. As of the minute, Jaeger Motorsport is topping your table with 4 points. The gap between second, that is Buffett Racing. FU Racing now in third, 39 points should I say, to second at the moment. In P4 though, you have got Michael Massey's Mango Lasset. That's in fourth. In fifth, you have PRT Squadra Corsa. And in sixth, you have Simplay Racing. In P7 now, you have got Hyundai Motoristico. P8, you have FST Racing. 10 points behind FST Racing though, you have Team Independent in P9 at the moment, and then Terminal Velocity Racing with only being 1 point behind Team Independent in 10th. In 11th you got Full Send It, and then in P12 you have LMO Motorsport. That is what your constructors are looking like at the moment, and that is another brilliant race at on a Thursday night for the pros. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and obviously press that bell notification to keep notified for whenever we are live. But from me and everyone at Simplay, good night.